Build a Better Bakery today to chat with you all about
Okay.
attracting. Perfect. So I think we are good to go on making sure we can see, we can hear. If anyone has comments, let me know. If you're here on the replay, always throw up your hashtag replay so that I know that you've seen the information. And if you're here live, you always throw up your hashtag live, and then we can talk about the subject together. Okay, so today's exciting because the entire month of August, we focused on attracting more clients. And if we've never met before, my name's Melissa Fryer. I'm the CEO, the owner, the main mentor at Build a Better Bakery. So if you've seen my content around, you've seen me around, this is the weekly session that we do here in the group at 9 a.m. Well, now it's 9 a.m. at Mountain Time. Hoping to stick with that as long as possible. So if you want to come and hang out every week, I like to be here every week with you all as a commitment to essentially the topic we're talking about today. It's the same kind of show and tell that we're going to be discussing this session is. Okay, so use this kind of as an example of what I mean. And if you're just a baker, a fellow baker who's interested in finding more joy and having less overwhelm as you're starting or growing your business, we should hang out more. I love to talk about this kind of stuff. Okay, so in this session, we're focusing on the power of implementing consistency when you're acting as the brand advocate for your business. So maybe in the comments, let me know, are you the brand advocate? Are you the main marketer? Do you pay someone to help you market? Do you have like a VA? What's the situation? Let me know in the comments so I can kind of gauge where everyone's at with this. Now, when we think about it, it can be kind of overwhelming. Like, what do I say? What do I do? So in today's session, I want to frame this staying consistent in attracting your clients as something like offering a show and tell, like something we used to do in grade school, right? It's just part of the job of informing other people and sharing with them about what's going on with your business. It does not have to be something brand new every time. It does not have to be over the top. You do not have to get 1 million views. Okay, like try not to make it more than it is. You're really just kind of showing and telling, and simple works too. Okay, so just some people get overwhelmed because they think it has to be perfect every time, but it doesn't. And today I'm going to cover my top 3 ways that you can stay consistent, because I know that's we can forget about posting. We don't know what to say. I know that's a big issue because we're busy baking, right? We're mostly doing other things, but we still need to attract the clients. So at the end of this, I'm also going to give you a sweet little template idea. And it's just a way for you to structure a recurring content post that you can post over and over again to help people understand what you're doing without reinventing the wheel every time. Hey, Shantae. Hey, Courtney. Good to see you. All right. So the biggest mistake, and the reason we're going to talk about this today, is because I see bakers, usually ones that are a little bit newer to this space, they're feeling weird about talking about their business in public. So it could be they're afraid of what people are going to say. They have some of, like a pride thing. They don't necessarily feel like they should be talking, like everyone should just know. Or maybe they misunderstand kind of how often that using things like social media, it's really loud. So posting fairly often is important. And again, the consistency. So if you're just posting once a month, people aren't really seeing that because it's folding into the loud noises of the internet. So we just have to realize, hey, this is a consistent thing. So we're going to kick that to the curb today. We're going to make this part of your daily routine or everyday routine, every other day routine, whatever you can do. And we're also going to talk a little bit about a mindset shift because of those kind of underlying, you're not advertising or marketing regularly, but why is that? What is it exactly? It might be one of the mind shift things we're going to talk about today. Okay, so to stay in the know about these before we get into it, check the events in the group. A couple of days before, I'll post about the topic, but it's always at 9 a.m. Mountain Time. So you can always set your alarm and just see, hey, what are we going to do this week? I might be posting those earlier from here on out, but at this point, I'm really just vibing with the group, making sure the content's as fresh as possible. So that's why I don't post really far in advance. I might change that though. We have an email list for updates and replay links that goes out every couple, maybe 2 or 3 times a month. You can be on that. You can also head over to our YouTube where I place a lot of the replays of these same videos, or up in the featured section of this group, you'll see most of them linked up there. Okay, so that's how you can get the replays or 9 a.m. Mountain Time right here in the group. All right, so we're going to hop right into this quick mindset. What is that? Mindset shift. If you're one of those bakers that feels any of the following, I'm just going to read off the 4 top ones that I hear. And if you're worried about sharing about your business publicly, or you feel weird, or you're not sure how to say things, hopefully we're going to switch a switch for you today. We're going to flip that switch. All right, so sounding familiar. 1, no one cares about what I do. Why would anyone care what I'm doing today? Right? 2, why would I talk about my business? Won't it seem like I'm full of myself if I keep talking about it? 3, I just don't want to be annoying. I don't want people to think, why is she so posting? Why is he always posting about his bread loaves? Why is she always posting about her cookies? I don't want people to think I'm annoying. Or 4, I really don't know what to say. I feel I'm blanking out. So I'm just not going to say anything at all because I just don't want to mess with it. Top 4. Let me know if 1, 2, 3, or 4 is you. Okay. Top 4 things I hear. So I think we can all agree, first off, that we all deserve a place in this world to do what we want to do and to have a voice about it. That's part of it, right? If you love to bake and you want to talk about it and that's something you care about, then you have a spot at the table and we are welcoming you in as the world community. You have a spot. So it does matter what you have to say and people are interested. Even if they're not saying it, even if they're not making those actions to show you that they've seen it or they hear it, they are listening. So we just need to continue to pump that message out there. Because if you love to bake, this is for you. Let's make this work. It's not gloating when you talk about your business that you run. It's just informational. You're just telling them, hey, this is what I'm doing. So did you just make 10 dozen cupcakes this weekend? Was it really hard? Was it really fun? Did you have a blooper? You know, what happened with it? Just, it's not gloating to tell us that you did the work because you did the work. So just tell us the story, show and tell. Tell us the truth of what happened. Are you excited about making an upcoming bread recipe? Maybe you've been working on bread recipes like me here. I'm excited about it. So I've been sharing, hey, these are little things that I've been doing. And people like to hear the journey, not always just the end goal, but the journey is also important because it's part of the story. People love stories. You're not full of yourself to show me the loaf that you baked after a whole week of recipe testing. That's really cool, right? Invite other people to experience the middle, beginning, and end of the journey with you so they can follow along. And that's really show and tell, right? So that's why this is called show and tell. It's the basics of a great way to include and inspire other people to just be a part. As I mentioned before, the internet is loud. It's really loud. It's getting worse. It's bothering me actually. So I don't know what I'm going to do about this, but like, it's too much. It's distracting. It's full of posts. It's full of people doing things. So if you're looking to use social media or an online platform to talk about your business, it would probably be impossible for you to be annoying at this point because there's just so much content. And a lot of people like bakeries. So we're kind of in a good situation where whenever we post something, it's like great. People love to look at what we do. They love to look at baked products. They love to hear about bakers. So thankfully, the content that we're putting out likely will never be annoying because people just like that kind of thing. And if people like bakeries, they're going to be looking for your content. So feed them what they're looking for. We don't want to leave them hanging, right? We want them to have a little bit of something. Brand advocates, if you ever were to hire one or become one yourself, it's their mission to showcase what's going on with the business. That's their job. So if you don't have someone doing it for you, then that is part of your job. So if you're in charge of marketing, this is kind of part of the whole gig. And I understand not knowing what to say. I totally get it. I find myself sometimes being like, oh, I don't even want to get on here today. I don't want to do this. So as I mentioned before, at the end of the session, I'm going to give you a quick template idea so you can put together, kind of copy paste your own little quick showing up post or something similar that you can send out over email or put on a social media thing. And then you don't have to reinvent the wheel every time. It's going to be a lot easier. Okay, cool. I don't see any questions. So I'm going to hop into those 3 top tips to stay consistent with your audience, making that show and tell vibe really work for you long-term. All right. So number 1, this might seem like a duh, but I want to say this because I think a lot of people say they're going to do this and then they don't actually follow through. And this is where it's at because it's very simple and it's not asking a lot. You're literally going to set an alarm. So whatever that looks like for you, phone alarm, Alexa alarm, whatever it is, you're going to set it, but then you're actually going to do the thing. So don't just set it and snooze it. Actually do the thing that you said and just make a commitment to yourself. That's really what it's about. Just, commit, hey, I'm going to do this for at least a month. I'm going to do this for at least 2 months or whatever it is, and follow through and see how it feels. Give it a shot. So if you need to post something regularly, send an email regularly, make a reel, whatever it is that you're doing that you feel like, hey, this is the one thing that I really feel good at, or I feel like I can do. I'm going to set an alarm to do it, and I'm going to make it part of my business day. Just like taking an order, it has its spot in your calendar. And for me, I just use a simple phone alarm because it's with me all the time. And a lot of times it's like, hey, just post on social at this time, which is usually, hey, when is your audience around? 5 to 6 p.m.-ish is normally when people, sometimes up to 8 or 9 or 10 p.m. is when people interact online. So that's a good time to decide, hey, I'm going to put something up. And it's just going to help you remember, and it's going to make it easier and more consistent until you might not even need the alarm anymore, but it's there to support you until you don't. And then you'll just start to know instinctively, hey, I need to do that right now. And as I mentioned at the very beginning of this 9 a.m. session is an exact example of what I'm talking about. This is a pretty, this is more work intensive than something that you could do, because I actually have to write the content. I have to sit down, I have to get ready, I have to film the content, I have to upload the content. There's time that's involved with this. It's just something that I feel like video in live session is what I like the best. So that's what I do in here. You don't have to do anything like this. It can be pre-done. It can just be words. It can be just pictures with some words, whatever. But what I did is I made a commitment to be here every week. I have an alarm on my phone that tells me, hey, Melissa, don't forget, you have to show up and do this thing. Get the stuff ready, sit down and do it. And no matter who shows up here, if I have 100 people logging in, if I have 1,000 people, if I have 2 people, it doesn't matter to me, because it's more about the consistency of doing the show and tell to make sure people have the content, because plenty of people see this and they don't say that they see it. And I know that because they message me and say, hey, I saw your session, but they never said anything on the video. So I would never know that they actually saw it. That's why we do #replay and we do #live, so that I can start to see, hey, who's seeing this stuff. But anyway, just to let you know, try not to focus too much on how, at the beginning at least, how much you're getting feedback. Just make it consistent and then hone it from there. All right. Okay, number 2. Make a choice to slim it down and stick to it. This one's a big one because I hear, hey, I'm burnt out already. Yes, you are going to get burnt out if you overdo it. That's just, if you're alone, wearing all the hats of the business is hard enough. And this is very hard, I think, in my perspective, from doing the baking to doing the marketing and doing the promotion and stuff. This can be overwhelming. So don't get me wrong. I do believe you should have at least a page on the platforms you know your clients are on. So with maybe a couple main posts, like 3 to 5 posts to help people understand who you are, what you do. That doesn't mean you have to be on it all the time and posting all the time. As long as you have a presence, people can still find you and then have your contact information to send them to maybe a different platform or to your cell phone or work phone or an email. That's kind of funneling them, right? So choose where you want to show up, and it doesn't have to be everywhere. And it might just be the place that you like better. So for instance, let's say you don't love Instagram. So you went ahead and made an Instagram page and you have some posts up, there's information, it has your contact info, and you're going to leave that sit while you focus on maybe something like email marketing or something like a Facebook group that you grew for your business. And that's where you're going to do most of your interaction, and that's fine, right? So just making sure those pages are set up so people can find you, and then using your time effectively on 1 or maybe 2 contact opportunities at first so that you don't get overwhelmed. It's just a lot to ask us to do everything. So we really, if we're going to focus somewhere, it has to be not everywhere or else nothing's going to get enough attention. All right. Looking good still. Okay. So number 3, this is where we're going to talk about that go-to post. And you can use this on really any platform. You can send it to a prospective client over Messenger. You can email it to somebody. You can send it in a newsletter, whatever it is, right? You can post it. There's lots of ways you can use this information. But what I want you to do today is commit to me and to yourself that you're going to put this together. Post in the group if you're writing it out and you want some help with like wording, or you want to know if people like it. Post it up. Hey, do you guys like this evergreen? You can call it like an evergreen content post, because it's essentially what it is. It's something you should be able to post pretty consistently. Might change over the year, seasonal, things like that. But we're looking for something that you could post at least 3 months in a row without ever having to change it. So what you can do is we need a visual to go with it. You can create a visual menu in something like Canva. That's where I would suggest, if you've never used Canva, check it out. If you have the paid subscription like me, you have access to a ton of templates and photos and things. I mean, use your own photos of the stuff you've made, but backgrounds and things like that. So put together your menu, or if you just have an image or like a collage of images that you want to go along with your info, that's okay too. Make sure they're cropped so there's nothing weird in the background. You can edit the lighting if it's too dark. Make sure they're good is my point, okay? And then we're gonna have some copy. So we're gonna have some words that go with this information. What I would suggest, if you can, is to set up something called a hook. So it's just a cute little sentence that's gonna stop someone from scrolling, and then hopefully they'll read through the rest of the information. It could be very simple, like, hey y'all, how are you? I mean, that's a very basic hook, but it's a personable interaction rather than just like, I have all these things for sale. People don't necessarily like that. So we want to have some kind of hook in there, maybe something funny or interesting, something like that. Okay, then we're going to fill people in on who you are, what you do, how you do it, who you serve, if you have a very specific demographic, and what value you're providing. And these are just some general questions that you can answer within the copy. Maybe include a quick testimonial as well. That can be like a screenshot, it can be typed out. And of course, please, your contact information with relevant info, please. Like however you want them, the main way you want them to contact you, maybe 1 or 2 ways, have that in there so they can see it right away. Okay, I'm gonna give you a quick example. And I'm just gonna, this is just something I wrote really quick. It's not me, it's just a fake business, okay? So don't let other people tell you what to do. You and I both know that you deserve a cookie today. With over 10 flavors on our menu, you'll find something for your Cookie Monster heart. We love making sure our cookies have that iconic crunchy edge and soft middle, and are obsessed with putting together our special bundle packs so you can try a bunch of flavors all at once. Last week, Meredith said, I can't get enough of these snickerdoodles. I even hide them from my kids so I can indulge without an interruption. Make sure you pre-order with us so you can claim yours for Friday pickup. Call me at whatever the number is, or email us to place that pre-order. So I'm hitting the nail on those questions. Who am I serving? People who like cookies. Maybe moms who like cookies, right? What are they? Oh, they're crunchy outside, soft on the inside. Oh, I've got a big menu. Oh, I've got a bundle pack, right? So I'm answering the questions of what am I doing for you? How am I doing it? Who's my demographic? And at the end, I'm like, hey, but the thing is they're pre-order. We do Friday pickups, call me. So that they know I'm not getting all these questions. Can I have some, what do you have now? That kind of stuff, right? Okay, so to recap, attracting more clients has a lot to do with treating them with that show and tell in a consistent manner. I'm coming here to do show and tell. I'm not going to worry about who's watching me. I'm going to do it because it's part of my marketing. It's part of my job. You can set those alarms, but please stick to them. If you do, start small, give yourself a good, I don't want you to feel like you're failing. So set one alarm, maybe try just once a week. If you're not posting at all, try once a week, every other day, something like that, and get this done. Focus on 1 to 2 sources of connection. Very simple, don't go overboard. You can make those pages so that you can kind of like claim the space, but you don't have to do everything on every platform. Just pick 1 or 2 and create that fun little post that we just talked about, that template. So for today's homework, I want you to say to yourself, I'm going to make that template so that I have it on hand. That's what I want you to do. You can post it here in the group and show everyone your little template post, your evergreen content post. You can send it to me if you want me to look it over, just DM me. I just want you to have this thing on hand. So try to do that today to have it to be part of your little saved you know, on your notes or whatever on your phone or your computer. So you can just put it up anytime, basically. Okay, and then you can share it as often as you want because it's just a very basic post. You can change the images, you can change the menu, you can change the product you're talking about, but the basic setup is the same. All righty. Okay, so attracting clients is an art. I think we've kind of noticed that as we've been talking this whole month about little aspects of how to do it so you can bring all of these skills together as you choose the best way for you to interact. And this show and tell, consistency posting, consistency on your emailing, that's all just one part of it, right? So making sure to check the replay featured area up in the group or YouTube or your emails that I'm sending out. That's going to give you the last 4, I think we had 4 others in August, maybe 5, but I think it was 4, covering other topics, all talking about attracting clients in these little snippets, right? So I want you to look at those if you haven't seen them yet. Okay, I don't see any questions coming in. If you have any, let me know about this topic. You can always hop over to the website, buildabetterbakerynow.com. There's a variety of support options there for people who are getting started or are trying to grow or revamp, whatever it is that you're doing. We have mentorship services, one-on-one calls, we have pricing course, we have business plan templates and contracts, things of that sort, and more. And most of it's ready to go. You can get started either with a quick download, or we can start working together pretty much within maybe 24, 48 hours. We'll be in contact and starting whatever it is that you want to do. We also just put up a Patreon page, which is something that some people had asked me about. Hey, they didn't necessarily want to sign up for any services. They just wanted to throw in like a donation, or they wanted access to the weekly group coaching, which is a big one. It's usually part of the larger mentorship services, but some people just wanted to be able to hop in and ask a question directly, which is fine. And so I set up the Patreon page with some different options. So you should check it out if you're interested in seeing what kind of packages the patrons will have access to. It's different than what's on the website. You can let me know if you need the link. I also put it, I think I put it on the website already, so you should be able to see it there too. And if you're curious about commercial space, I get this question a lot, or you have a timeline to open one up soonish, maybe even within the next year or 2. I am releasing a new course soon, which I'm editing at the moment, with a ton of great information from all of the elite mentorship coaches covering moving from cottage to commercial. Even if you haven't had a cottage business yet, but you're going commercial, you're still going to be able to use a lot of this information because it's about starting up, choosing locations, marketing, transitioning, this huge do's and don't lists, like, you know, supplies, hiring, all the little nitty gritties. I can send you a list if you need to know more of what's in it. But what I did is I created a wait list for this. So when it's actually completely done, I'm going to take the wait list, I'm going to give them first dibs on the course, and it's going to come with special pricing and bonuses. So if you want to be part of that wait list, those are the only people that are going to see that specific information. Let me know. It's free to join it, and you don't have to sign up when you see the email, but you will get the email. So that's what the wait list is for. You can let me know if you need that. All righty. Okay, cool. Looks like we don't have any comments right now, so I'm going to leave this sit. You can add your comments later if you see this on the hashtag replay. I'll be back in September. We're about to move over to a new month with a new theme and those weekly sessions, 9 a.m. Mountain Time right here in the group. I hope you all have the best day and you stay safe out there, and I will see you soon. We're going to be covering prepping for the fall and holiday season in the Elite Mentorship Program. So if you want to get access to that, the huge vault, all the group coaching, all that goody stuff, let me know. It's on the website. We can talk about you coming into the mentorship. Just send me a DM. Okay. Bye, everyone.